Makes the world go round. The 2025 budget will require money for its effective implementation. After the first quarter of 2025, all members of Parliament can attest that they have not received their funding. Districts, provinces, departments, sectors, agencies, programs have all not received their 2025 budget appropriations. This was exactly what led to the 2024 budget's failure. This protracted and severe cash flow crisis that is affecting the national coffers right now is a result of poor fiscal discipline by the Honourable Prime Minister James Marape. The modus operandi for this Prime Minister is selective warranting for crony capitalism, where we see public monies being overspent, a total mismatch in revenues and expenditure, and this fixation on debt financing. We have borrowed more money in the last 6 years, 39.9 billion kina, than any other Prime Minister or government in history. Yet, there has been no socio-economic improvement, and we continue to have this protracted cash flow crisis currently threatening the 2025 budget. So, what can we do about this? Simple. We can remove and depose this Prime Minister because people are creatures of habit. After 5 years, there has been absolutely no investment in agriculture and tourism, notwithstanding the historic budget after budget, a cumulative total of 156.8 billion kina. We have not fixed the youth bulge issue. There has been no 1 million jobs created. We have been unable to promote the SME sector, and we have the wrong Minister for Commerce. We have not been able to fix law and order, reduce crime and corruption in the country. We have been unable to sack the police minister. We have not been able to create a conducive environment for foreign direct investment. After 6 years, the Prime Minister has failed to provide any reforms to our tax regime. We have been unable to increase the FX shortages that are affecting business activity throughout the country. We have not been able to create a positive relationship with our bilateral partners. This is all because this Prime Minister is not making decisions based on meritocracy, pragmatism, and honesty. Just like Singapore, he has been hypocritical in his policy that is just based on cliche. And this mumbo-jumbo policy prescription is creating confusion and havoc that will continue to prolong this cash flow crisis and affect members of Parliament and how they effectively deliver to their people in their respective districts and provinces. We cannot tolerate, accept, or allow this. The time for change is now, to depose this Prime Minister and save Papua New Guinea, because this cash flow crisis will continue if Marape remains the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea. On the eve of Papua New Guinea's 50th independence anniversary, the people continue to suffer because of the litany of crises under the Marape government. The rhetoric surrounding the 13-year budget repair strategy and the much-hyped fiscal consolidation plan have been nothing more than a smokescreen to justify the unprecedented borrowing of 40 billion kina in 7 years, taking our national debt stock to a historic 65 billion kina. Now, fiscal consolidation refers to government policies aimed at reducing budget deficits and national debt by either increasing revenues or decreasing expenditures. The aim of fiscal consolidation is to restore fiscal sustainability, improve investor confidence, and avoid over-reliance on short-term borrowing. After 6 years, the fiscal consolidation plan of the Marape government has failed. This is simply because the Prime Minister just could not make the tough decisions to cut spending on Connect PNG and right-size the public service. From the 5.6% legislated funds for the Connect PNG program, over 8.5 billion kina has been spent on road infrastructure without any audits in the last 6 years. This lack of transparency and governance is synonymous with crony capitalism and parochial politics. If the Marape government was serious and focused on decreasing expenditures, we should have stabilized the debt, curbed inflation, significantly reduced the deficit, and created fiscal space for investments. Now, the government defends itself by saying its borrowing is within the ambit of the Fiscal Responsibility Act and brags about a sustainable debt to GDP ratio of 52%. GDP is artificially high because inflation is high and the kina is in depreciation. GDP is not high because of high actual economic output. The debt ratios look better than what they are. The current situation is that failed revenue has led to cash shortages, increasing arrears, and putting pressure on debt repayments. And those districts that have received only 3 million out of 20 million appropriation, that's 15% in 2025, will definitely not receive 100% appropriation. The 2025 budget will fail without an immediate supplementary budget to correct this budget blowout. The Marape government, under the guise of fiscal consolidation, has plummeted the country into unsustainable debt with no foreign direct investment in 6 years, no growth prospects, and wider inequality. Marape lamented recently that 214.5 billion over 12 years has not produced any tangible development outcomes, citing that budget implementation lacks transparency. I concur with the Prime Minister that his economic performance has been lackluster. Only in PNG could a Prime Minister admit that he has failed after 6 years, after 158.4 billion kina in spending, after 40 billion in borrowing, and crisis after crisis, and continue to stay in power. Marape is a populist leader who thinks he has all the answers. The shocking state of affairs throughout the nation can be imputed on Marape's hubris, misplaced sense of entitlement, superficial policy interventions, and the total leadership incompetence.